Hello, my dear friends. Today, I want to talk to you about something that might surprise you. It's about the silent changes happening in your body right now. Changes that begin in your legs long before you notice any weakness or instability. You see, as we get older, there's a quiet shift taking place. It starts subtly. Maybe you notice yourself walking a bit slower than you used to. Perhaps you find yourself reaching for the handrail more often when climbing stairs. Or maybe you feel just a little less steady when you stand up from your favorite chair. These small changes might seem like normal aging, but they're actually warning signs of something more serious happening beneath the surface. Your leg strength is beginning to decline, and when it does, everything in your life starts to change. You gradually lose a bit of control. Your balance begins to fade. And for far too many seniors, this slow decline ends with a life-altering fall. Did you know that falls are the #1 cause of traumatic death and disability in older adults? It's a sobering statistic, but here's the truth that I want you to remember. It doesn't have to be this way. You can protect your legs, your balance, and your precious independence with just a few small but powerful lifestyle changes. And one of the biggest keys to maintaining your strength? Knowing which foods might be working against you, even the ones that seem perfectly healthy. The hidden connection between food and leg strength. I felt compelled to share this information with you because there's so much misleading advice out there. Some of it sounds wonderfully healthy, but it could actually be harming your body in ways you'd never expect. Today, we're going to cut through all that noise and get to what truly matters for your strength, stability, and long-term freedom. What many seniors don't realize is that leg strength isn't just about muscles. It's about everything that supports those muscles. Think about it this way. Every time you move, signals must travel between your brain and your body. Your legs respond to those signals, but only if they're getting the right fuel, the right support, and the right care. Your nervous system, circulation, energy metabolism, inflammation control, and even your brain health all play crucial roles in keeping your legs strong and responsive. And while exercise certainly plays a vital role in maintaining leg strength, what we eat is just as important. In fact, it may be the determining factor in whether our muscles build up or break down. This is where a painful misunderstanding often creeps in, especially when it comes to fruit. We've been taught for decades that fruit is always healthy. After all, it's colorful, natural, and sweet straight from nature. Surely it must be good for us, right? Well, the truth is more complicated than that, especially for aging bodies. The surprising truth about modern fruits. Many fruits, particularly the ones we consume in large quantities today, have been cultivated over generations for maximum sweetness and longer shelf life, not for nutritional balance or depth. They're often loaded with natural sugars, particularly fructose, that while relatively harmless in youth, can wreak havoc on an aging metabolism. In seniors, excess sugar, even from fruit, drives inflammation throughout the body. It promotes insulin resistance and fat accumulation, especially around the liver and abdomen. But perhaps most concerning, it disrupts the very neural and muscular pathways that keep us stable and strong. Some fruits spike blood sugar so rapidly that the body becomes inflamed and confused, unable to properly coordinate movements or maintain muscle tone. Others interfere with gut health, which in turn affects brain function and coordination. And all of this happens behind the scenes, quietly, until one day walking becomes a chore and standing up feels risky. That's why understanding which fruits can harm rather than help is absolutely essential. Now, I want to be clear, not all fruits are the enemy. Many fruits are wonderful for your health. But some are particularly problematic for seniors trying to preserve leg strength, balance, and vitality. Fruit number 1, grapes, the sweetest threat to your strength. Let's start with grapes. Among all the fruits we so often reach for in the grocery store or place proudly on the table for guests, grapes hold a special place in our hearts. They're small, easy to snack on, and they feel completely harmless. But for seniors, especially those concerned about strength, stability, and longevity, grapes can quietly become one of the most damaging choices. Here's why this matters so much. Despite their innocent appearance, grapes are essentially little sugar bombs. A single cup of grapes contains over 20 grams of natural sugar, most of which is fructose. While fructose might sound less threatening than table sugar, in the aging body it tells a very different story. Fructose is processed primarily in the liver, and unlike glucose, it doesn't trigger insulin in the same way. Instead, it tends to promote fat buildup in the liver, which contributes to metabolic dysfunction, chronic inflammation, and even loss of lean muscle mass. But the real danger for older adults lies beyond metabolism. It lies in how sugar impacts the nervous system and muscular control. High-sugar fruits like grapes spike blood sugar quickly, especially when eaten alone or between meals. This surge leads to a crash, not just in energy, but in neural clarity. The brain becomes foggy, signaling becomes slower, and muscles begin to respond less efficiently to movement commands. In short, your legs, which depend on quick, clear, and coordinated neural input, stop functioning like they used to. On top of that, grapes contain almost no fiber, meaning the sugars absorb rapidly into your bloodstream, completely unbuffered. That rush stresses your system each time you snack on a handful. If you're already managing prediabetes, insulin resistance, or just trying to preserve your independence, grapes could be working against you far more than you know. Fruit number 2. Ripe bananas, the friendly fruit that silently weakens you. For many older adults, ripe bananas are a daily habit. They're quick, soft, easy to chew, and seemingly harmless. They're often viewed as the perfect snack for seniors. No preparation needed, naturally sweet, and full of potassium. But behind this friendly facade, ripe bananas may be quietly working against one of your most precious assets, your leg strength. The issue lies not in the banana itself, but in what happens to your body when you eat one that's overripe and sugary. As bananas ripen, their starch converts into sugar that's quickly digestible and rapidly absorbed. A medium-ripe banana contains around 27 grams of carbohydrates, including over 14 grams of sugar. For a younger, metabolically active person, that sugar is quickly burned for energy. But in older adults, particularly those who are less active or insulin resistant, that sugar spikes blood glucose levels fast and then crashes them just as quickly. This sharp rise and fall doesn't just make you feel tired, it has direct consequences for your muscles and nervous system. When blood sugar fluctuates wildly, the body shifts its focus towards stabilizing energy rather than building or repairing tissue. Over time, this means less protein synthesis, slower muscle recovery, and weaker muscular responses. You may not feel the effect right away, but day after day, your legs will carry you just a little less steadily. Even more concerning is the impact on your neuromuscular coordination. Muscles, including those in your legs, don't move on their own. They respond to electrical signals sent from your brain through your nervous system. But high-sugar foods like ripe bananas promote inflammation, particularly neuroinflammation, which slows down those signals. The result? You move more slowly, your reaction time declines, and your balance slips. Fruit number 3. Mangoes, the tropical temptation that betrays your muscles. There's something absolutely irresistible about a ripe, golden mango. Its lush sweetness, smooth texture, and tropical aroma often feel like nature's dessert, a luxurious reward that seems both indulgent and healthy. For many seniors, mangoes are associated with vitality, sunshine, and natural nourishment. But behind that bright, cheerful taste lies a powerful metabolic trap, one that gradually erodes muscle strength and contributes to leg weakness in ways that are rarely discussed. The danger of mangoes isn't just that they're sweet. It's how concentrated that sweetness is and how your aging body processes it. A single medium mango can contain over 45 grams of sugar. That's more than 11 teaspoons, and most of it comes in the form of fructose. In small amounts, fructose can be managed by the body. But when consumed in high doses, especially by seniors with slower metabolisms, it creates a dangerous storm inside the body. As I mentioned earlier, fructose is processed almost entirely in the liver. This overload leads to the production of fat in the liver, a condition called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which is strongly tied to chronic inflammation, muscle breakdown, and reduced insulin sensitivity. This matters greatly for your legs. Muscles rely on clear insulin signaling and efficient energy metabolism to repair, grow, and stay responsive. When that system is inflamed or dysfunctional, as it becomes with frequent high fructose intake, the muscles in your lower body begin to weaken. You may feel more fatigue when walking, stiffness when rising from a chair, or even mild tremors when trying to steady yourself. Fruit number 4. Packaged fruit juices, the disguised danger in a glass. For decades, fruit juice has been promoted as the epitome of a healthy choice. Bright, colorful, labeled with words like 100% natural or no added sugar. For many seniors, it's even part of a daily routine. A small glass of orange juice with breakfast or a mid-morning cup of apple juice to keep energy up. It feels comforting, familiar, and wholesome. But the truth is far more unsettling. Packaged fruit juices may be one of the most deceptive threats to leg strength and overall vitality for older adults. When you drink a glass of packaged juice, you're consuming the sugar of several fruits without any of the fiber. Take apple juice, for example. A single cup can contain 25 to 30 grams of sugar, the equivalent of 6 or 7 teaspoons, and it's absorbed rapidly. Unlike whole fruits, juice doesn't come with fiber to slow digestion or regulate the release of sugar into the bloodstream. That means your blood sugar spikes hard, and so does your insulin, triggering a cascade of metabolic stress. But this isn't just about sugar highs and crashes. High glycemic loads, like those from fruit juices, promote inflammation deep in the body, including in the muscle tissues and nervous system. That inflammation subtly degrades the neuromuscular connection, making your legs respond more slowly, less precisely, and with less power. The coordination you once took for granted starts to slip, not because your body is failing, but because it's being sabotaged from within. Worse yet, these juices often come pasteurized, processed, and stripped of most of their natural nutrients. What remains is mostly concentrated fructose, which contributes to fat buildup, insulin resistance, and eventually sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass. The result is a steady decline in muscle integrity and leg function that feels gradual, but is deeply rooted in daily choices like that innocent-looking juice bottle. Fruit number 5. Pineapple, the acidic culprit hiding behind a golden glow. It's hard not to love pineapple. Its tropical flavor, juicy texture, and bright color seem to promise health and vitality in every bite. For many seniors, pineapple feels like a refreshing treat that's light, natural, and even beneficial, especially since it's often praised for containing bromelain, an enzyme known to aid digestion and reduce inflammation. But behind that golden glow lies a truth that's rarely talked about. Pineapple, while appealing on the surface, can quietly work against your leg strength, joint health, and muscular coordination. A single cup of pineapple contains around 16 grams of sugar, much of it in the form of rapidly absorbed simple sugars. And unlike berries or apples, pineapple has a high glycemic index, meaning it causes a sharp spike in blood sugar levels. For an older adult, especially one with insulin sensitivity or pre-diabetes, even if undiagnosed, this creates a metabolic surge that leads to inflammation. And not just anywhere, but in the very areas that determine balance and mobility, the joints, muscles, and nerves. But pineapple's impact isn't limited to sugar alone. It's also highly acidic. While the body can often handle acidity in youth, many older adults develop sensitive joints, mild arthritis, or gastrointestinal imbalances that are aggravated by acidic foods. The result? You may feel more joint stiffness, swelling in the knees or hips, or even general achiness after eating pineapple regularly. This matters because pain directly reduces muscle activation. When joints hurt, The body naturally suppresses movement in that area, meaning your legs may stop engaging fully even when you try to walk, exercise, or climb stairs. Over time, this underuse leads to further muscle atrophy, especially in the fast-twitch muscle fibers, most responsible for stability and quick reactions. Throughout our lives, the legs are often the quietest part of our body. They carry us through decades without complaint, until one day they begin to falter. And when they do, they rarely go alone. Along with weak legs comes a loss of balance, confidence, independence, and most profoundly, the freedom to live life on your own terms. What many don't realize is that the strength of your legs is directly tied to the length and quality of your life. Not just in years, but in moments lived with dignity and self-sufficiency. Leg health isn't only about muscle. It reflects the harmony of multiple vital systems. Your nervous system, circulation, joints, metabolism, and even your cognitive function. Each step you take is a symphony of signals between brain and body, requiring not just physical energy, but sharp coordination and healthy communication through nerves and tissues. When we lose the strength in our legs, we begin to lose access to the world around us, and worse, to the world within us. The risk of falls rises, movement decreases, the brain gets fewer signals, and vitality fades. But here's the truth that I want you to hold on to: it's not too late. The human body, even in its later years, responds remarkably to care, to better nutrition, to movement, and to purpose. Every choice you make today, what you eat, how you move, what you believe about your body, has the power to shape how well and how long you live. Your legs are not just limbs. They are your foundation. And when you protect that foundation, you are not just preserving mobility. You are preserving life itself. At a certain point in life, many older adults begin to quietly accept physical decline as inevitable. The slower steps, the unsteady footing, the lost energy. But this silent resignation is not only unnecessary, it can be dangerous. The truth is, your body is still listening. Even in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, the human body is capable of healing, strengthening, and restoring itself if you give it the right signals, the right nourishment, and the right care. The small changes you make today can shape the next decade of your life. Choose foods that reduce inflammation, fuel your muscles, and support brain-to-body communication. Listen to what your body has been telling you, not with frustration, but with compassion and curiosity. Aging doesn't have to mean fading. It can mean refinement, wisdom, and clarity. And yes, even strength. Especially strength. Now I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share what you've learned today. What's one change you plan to make in your own life? Remember, we're all on this journey together, supporting each other as we work toward living life on our own terms. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Here's to your health, your strength, and your continued independence. You've got this, and I'm here cheering you on every step of the way.